is a $300 pan from Smithy Ironworks, and this is a $30 pan. You're watching my extra channel, and I'm Zachary Fowler, and today we're gonna see if we can't cook up the difference in these and show you what this nice pan is all about. Do you need it? Or is that just a frivolous thing of bling to show how cool you are in the kitchen? From the top, this is a cast iron pan I got at Goodwill, and when I looked it up, it's only like a $30 pan. This is one that Smithy Ironworks sent me, $295. I've been using this in the Waterworld series.
Oh yeah. All right, that's enough there.
Beautiful, crappy. The wok is $325. They sent me this, and I use this in my Florida series.
All hand forged. Beautiful.
Here's my lemon are in there. And this is a $28 one I bought at Walmart years ago with Teflon, which is missing pretty much except for up here on the edges. Not good. $10 cast iron from Dollar General, and the Smithy Ironworks cast iron, which is like a $210.
Oh.
And this is like a $38 to $40 like Lodge cast iron here. So I've never made a big deal about pans over the years. When I used to live out in the woods, I only ever had like one cast iron pan just like this one, but just a Lodge pan, $38 maybe cast iron pan, and I did everything in it. I didn't own a single other pan except for a stainless pot. And so I would do my pastas or something like that, and then the cast iron. And the cast irons are so nice because the straight up iron, you don't have to wash it. When you're living in the woods, you just put it on the oven top with a little bit of water in it and wipe it out with a paper towel. You're good to go, and you don't ruin the seasoning in an iron or cast iron pan unless you go and put soap in it and you boil it too much, or you go and put something acidic in it, like cooking pasta sauce in this pan will kind of strip your seasoning out and it might get a little stuck on here. So after leaving the woods though and moving to civilization a few years ago, I kind of got into Teflon pans for a little bit and thinking, hey, that's pretty cool. You wash them with soap and water, nothing sticks to them. This was kind of a semi-expensive set that I bought on Amazon for the full set of all the pans and pots. And already there's scratches showing up, and I gotta be grumpy with everybody because they toss it in the sink and they throw a bunch of forks inside there, and I'm like, what are you doing? You know, like that, I just spent a whole bunch of money, and like, and stuff still sticks to these some of the times if you put the wrong kinds of things in it. So as my cooking continued to increase with the YouTube channel, I thought, what would be the most ultimate pans? I've always loved woks, and I've had this one for years, and this was a non-stick Teflon, and then it started to shred on the bottom, so I literally took some sandpaper and kind of sanded it out, and I kind of went so far as like to the edges here, and there's still some remnants of the Teflon. I love the woks, the traditional woks, and I've always wanted one. I ordered a very traditional style wok, and it never showed up. So one day when I was sitting around Googling things, I Googled what's the best wok I could buy, and I found Smithy Ironworks popping up. Sent them a message and say, hey, you guys wanna hook us up with a pan? We're going to Florida soon, and we're gonna be doing some cool cooks, and I'd love to saute up some iguana and some fish. I'll get to cook on it, and you'll get to show people how cool your pans are. So they sent me this, and they sent me, this is a 12-inch cast iron. This is like 225 bucks for this cast iron. It's a machined inside. Most of the cast iron pans you buy nowadays, they're not fully machined on the inside. They still have that sand casting. And like this one, it's got quite a bit of a texture to it. So that reduces its ability to be kind of non-stick. They put the extra mile in and machine and polish the interior so it's super smooth, and it works out really well. So for my own sake, as well as you guys, I thought like, hey, how much better does this $325 wok work? And I know I've enjoyed it, and I know I love it, but every once in a while, like when this was down on the boat recently, I did pull this one back out and was using it again, and I'm like wondering to myself, what's the difference? How much better is it? Is the value really there, or is it an exponential price jump because of the beautifully hand-forged handle and the hand-forged handle on this end of it and the hammered look to it, as it was just, I mean, it's just beautifully made. I feel like super romantic about my cooking, and I cook in this thing. And I even feel like the lip on the inside is just so well designed that that flip in the pan is exactly what you want it to be. And then this one here, I reached out to them and said, hey, we're doing Waterworld now, and I'd love to get my hands on that saute pan. I like the look of it, and just the interior and that hammered lip around the sides and that beautiful handle. I didn't realize this thing weighed so much when they sent it to me. It's like, it takes some serious muscle to get that good flip on it, but it's totally, oh, it's a beautiful pan. The flies, good old houses. They got so many holes in the windows, the darn fly gets in. There we go. I think I got him. Oh yeah, he's there. He's down for the count. One more for, oh, that was gross. Left a little smear, did you see that? We're not cooking, that's disgusting. Anyways, so we got our pans and we got some ingredients here, and I even asked at the store when I was ringing out, like, hey ladies, what is the worst thing you could cook in a pan that sticks and creates a mess? Because the beauty of the cast iron, properly seasoned, and these, you know, hammer forged wok and skillet here, they are non-stick for the most part, just like Teflon, as long as you take care of it and use it right. So let's cook up a couple things, see how well these pans do, and see if we can't put our finger on exactly why I feel like I love these so much more, and I rarely ever cook with anything else. As long as I haven't left it down at the boat or the lake property and find myself having no choice but to use the old wok from Walmart. Here we go, let's just start out with our first test. We got our, you know, Smithy Ironworks one here, fire it up. We're just gonna go with an egg in both of these. Now, most important thing with these pans and why people get stuff to stick or have problems with them in the first place is because they don't heat the pan up before they go and start cooking on it. You put it on and it's warm, and not even warm, it's cold, and they go and just take an egg and that one's got a hole in it, apparently. That was interesting. Throw some of our Amish butter in. See if you can't see why I like to cook my eggs in this one versus this cheaper one. It might not seem like much, but the Smithy Ironworks spatula too is like my now favorite spatula. I want to get like a couple more so I can just have one at the lake property and down on the boat and when I'm camping, and it's just such a simple spatula, but it works. It's my favorite as opposed to like, oh, just some of these foolish plastic things. So now our pans are warmed up before the butter browns. We'll throw an egg in. Now, these two burners are very different. This one, I think on medium low is the same. Do a little fried egg in butter. See, our egg is, well, it's not. The edges of it, see if the edges are loose. That one's stuck to the pan in the middle. Is this one? That one sticking to the pan just like, oh, there we go. So, oh. Got you, John, sorry. So this one's not sticking to the pan. Let's see if we can get, and this one is now free from the pan too. I don't know that there's much difference. If you get the butter, enough butter in there, it's gonna float any egg. And I think it actually did better on, I think I made a better looking egg in this one, but that's because I bumped this one and I splashed John with the grease. So they pretty much came out the same. I felt like this one broke free of the pan a little easier, and I don't know. And this one, it didn't take, it cooked it well. It did a good job, and no complaints. Workability, almost the same, maybe a teeny bit easier, almost unmeasurably though, so that's not exactly a problem thing for pans, so let's move on to something else. Taste wise, I wouldn't expect me anything different. They're both cooked in Amish butter, that's a waste of time. And I know who is hungry. We still got more food to cook for us, so we'll give this one to butter.
Grown man's breakfast, you just gave her.
Test 2, straight up cheese. I think I've seen that when other people are testing out pans and things. We did take a second to give that to butter, so we'll let these warm back up just a teeniest bit. White American deli cheese.
Got a lot of milk in there?
Yeah, just see what happens.
Alright.
See if they become a horrible mess and ruin the pans. Like, still, it's actually sticking to this one more right now. I don't know if that's my fault because I messed up the seasoning recently.
Oh.
That's. Well, that one. Well, that one rolled right off of there. Did not see that coming, but maybe I had a little more butter on this side. It is definitely not being friendly to the spatula here. It's getting stuck right to it. And this one is doing a pretty good job of getting all stuck and smeary to this. Well, I scraped and wiped it clean pretty darn easily. I didn't even have to go and scrub away at it. It didn't do so well with the thing, but I'm gonna do it one more time because I did just bring it back from the boat and I had to really clean it up because it started to corrode a little bit. It was sitting down there for a couple weeks and I might have just re-seasoned it. And this one's been sitting here getting used and scraped clean and seasoned kind of like continually. So not a fair test. Let's see what happens the second time now that it's been a little more re-seasoned. You're not supposed to do this with cheese. There we go. After a second go of it, so the pan is a little more seasoned. It rolls right up off of that, just like the other pan. But it still likes to stick to the spatula. It's all about the seasoning and how you take care of the pan. And it needs to be taken care of and seasoned well, and then it works just like a non-stick. And since that was a fresh seasoning, it performed like a fresh seasoning, and it didn't quite do so well the first time with a piece of cheese until after it had been cleaned. After it had been a little bit more seasoned. We'll do the woks last, and now the cast irons. We'll try something a little different. Heat them up. And we'll do some hot dogs and caramelized onions in it. Whoops. Things in this pan are getting burnt, whereas things in this pan are cooking up perfectly. All right. I don't know. I feel like I had more control over my cook in this pan, but they're both different burners and stuff, so it's hard to say. But my onions turned out a touch more exactly what I was going for on this side than the other. I feel like more the tips of the onions, I mean, it's like so hard to say, but like the tips of the onions burned all up in this one. Like this thing heated up so fast because it's so much thinner of a pan. So I feel like I can see a huge difference between the two of them there when it comes to the cook on these and how these turned out versus these two hot dogs. Let's see if the guys can actually tell the taste difference. I don't know if that's gonna have anything to do with anything, but they get some free hot dogs out of it. Like I said earlier, the ladies at the store suggested chicken and barbecue sauce, but you don't just barbecue sauce up some chicken and put it in the pan. Sugary thing's gonna give you a problem in the first place with it sticking to the pan and stuff. So I don't know why anybody would do this, and if you did, you'd want to do it super low and maybe like put it all in there. You do some chicken thighs and you put the barbecue sauce on the top. The fats from the chicken would come out and it would continue to work with the seasoning of the pan, and then the barbecue sauce might come down around it a little bit, but it wouldn't end up nearly as smoky as what we're gonna do. This is gonna be bad. I got a bad feeling about this. 2 pieces of chicken per each pan, and just slather them in barbecue sauce. And we're just gonna work them up a little bit in the barbecue sauce, and then bring them over here. Just lick our fingers clean after you. No, we're not gonna do that.
You better watch that barbecue sauce bottle. Getting it all chickeny.
I'm going straight for turning the fan on, so figure this out, because this is not gonna be good. I'm not even gonna like barbecue sauce the top of them, and flip them into the sauce some more. Just straight up ruin. This is pretty much going to be bad for both pans. Well, now that they're cooking on low, let's go see what the guys bring them their hot dogs. Oh yeah, they got to take a bite. Come on up.
Where am I going?
Hey, Matt. I washed it earlier.
Yeah.
I didn't do the raw chicken. I did not do the raw. No, I did. Because I used it. What was I using it on?
Exactly.
Food
you
stuff.
don't even know.
I was using it on food stuff.
Is that good or bad?
No, I was using it on food stuff, so I washed it. Oh, on the cheese. This side versus this side. Which is, you gotta taste it and tell me which is the $300 pan and which is the $30 pan.
Man,
this
feels a lot harder than
these 4 versus these 4 pieces. So go for it.
Okay.
Everybody grab a...
Let's all grab from this side first.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Joe, you grab that big boy in the back.
No, Joe, you didn't.
Instant.
He said all grab from this side.
Oh, this side.
That's
That's like half and half.
There you go.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, no.
All right.
Mm-hmm. You can really taste the red.
Red dye number 4.
Yeah. Do we have water for like a palate cleanser?
Absolutely not.
We don't. No. No water.
I want to. Let's see.
You guys can just grab the other one and try the other one. Now tell me which one you think. Left side or versus right side? Which one was the expensive pan?
I think I have my answer.
Can you smell the $300?
I can smell a hint of more carbon buildup, which I'm assuming means this was the cheaper pan.
Oh yeah.
You taste the
Right,
carbon?
yeah. The first one is the $300 and the second one is the cheaper one.
What do you guys think?
Honest, I think there was some weirder taste with the onion on this one or something. I'll stick with it. Why not? Because I feel like the first one had like a kind of weird taste to the onion. Maybe it's like a new pan taste. Maybe it's something, I don't know.
Oh yeah, you bought the pan, so you're like, now you're questioning it like, which one was the expensive pan,
Which one's
Grant?
broken in?
The question is, how many times did you spin the plate
That side?
Came up
Me and
here?
Grant are in
Wow,
conclusion.
50-50. 50-50. Joey and Matt were right.
Hey!
So the reason they were a little more crisped up on that side maybe tasted different. Maybe they even tasted,
Proper
I don't know what, but
palate
they were a little more burnt because it was the pan is thinner, the cast iron's thinner, and it was a little more like burning them quicker and stuff. So that's
PPP,
all right.
proper palate pals.
Next test.
Next test.
Flipping on, flipping on, flipping on. Check that chicken, looking good, cook through. Looking good. Keep that style of cheap pan on one side, good pan on the other. All right, now my $28 wok from Walmart from years ago versus Smithy Iron Works beautiful $325 wok. We're gonna do a little stir fried up hash browns in them, and we'll do it with a little bit of olive oil. the most easy way to tell the difference, since they both were cooking about the same, is gonna be shooting it with this, something like a skillet, seeing the difference in the, like you could see the heat signature when you're cooking with that cheaper cast iron. I didn't really get it good on camera, but you can see the exact spot where the heat is coming up onto it, so it's like cooler in the middle and cooler on the edge, and that perfect ring of the other thing going on. Now, I'm curious to see if there will be any difference or a noticeable difference. This has been seasoned for years, and I've been using it just like I would use this one after sanding off the Teflon and stuff, and that's pretty nasty. Those onion, equal parts rosemary for each of them. Got some of that from my herb garden in there. Keep them moving. As hot as you can get it. What's a tater, precious, without some garlic? Alright, this one's cooking up a little faster. I'm gonna switch burners. This has an inner and outer burner, so it's kind of not fair. They both are doing great with their thing, but this one's not cooking as quick on this burner with a lot less going on, temperature-wise. 365. Well, it just came off of that burner, so it's 570 something, and this one's going up in temperature. A little more oil in that one. Alright, looking at the bottom of the pan, it looks spotless, super clean, nothing sticking to it, and it's like doing its job, right? Looks good. Look at the bottom of this one. It's all dark and been seasoned. It's pretty much spotless, doing its job, everything's cooking good. Yeehaw. Right now, tossability. I'm not the best at this when it comes to flipping it. Like, can't do like one of those crazy flips where they go super high, maybe. This pan's a lot bigger, kind of wider, so it is what it is. They both work really good, and I can flip stuff up. I feel like the side of this pan, shape-wise, it just tossing it against the pan side, it just flips the entire thing right over really cleanly. If I do that here, they just go all over the place. A little bit of our fireberry. This bottle's been through hell and back with us out there during Waterworld. We'll put some of that on there, and we'll make John eat it. This will be good. There's some sugar in that. I'll just kind of stir it. I feel like I always overly brown my hash browns and stuff when I do them. I probably should have added the onions later, because those are definitely burnt up. One side, good stuff on the right side. Cheap chicken on the left, and a nice chicken on the right. All right, there's some for John, some for me. A little bit of the old Japanese salt here that I got. It's really good stuff. More expensive pan. Cheaper pan. Seems like what? It's hard to say without them. Can't tell the difference. The cast iron pans with the chicken. One from the more expensive pan. And the other piece from the cheaper pan. Better, it was a little thicker. And I overcooked this one. Has anything to do with the pan? I don't think so. Nah, you can eat now, John.
Thanks.
You always clean them with this like chainmail or something like this, flatter chainmail. I like this one, it's got like a structure in it. Just hot water.
Looks good. So, in conclusion, as we were filming, it didn't seem like there's maybe that huge of a difference, and obviously you can't taste test. That's going to be up to the cook to do a very good job with whatever pan they're using, and it's very doable. I feel like the biggest difference is not just the price, but the amount of, like with this smaller one, the heat dispersion. Like these, and I went back and I checked the saute pan, or whatever it's called there, and with the temperature wise, it was very even all the way across the bottom of the pan. The cheaper stainless one, it had like cold, and then hot, and then cold, and then hot, and really hot up the handle and stuff, and like weirdly so, it was very uneven, more than I would have even expected when I checked it like that. And this thing too, it heated up really fast, but it was just like super hot down in there by the burner and not around the edge, and it wasn't too bad. So the heat dispersion and evenness for the Smithy ones, like definitely 2x better. And then the cleanup wise, they clean up great, but I'm also able to get these cheaper ones. If I take good care of them, you're not gonna have a mess. Don't do something acidic in it and it won't ruin the seasoning, and you can keep just, wiping them clean. Quality wise, and the shape of the pan, and the fact that this isn't milled out and machined flat, and where this is milled out and machined flat, it cooks things so nicely. They always are in the right spot on the pan. This is a little bit warped from its sand casting, and the butter and stuff stays around the outside edges, so when you're doing a piece of chicken or something inside of there, you're kind of like, you're grabbing it, you're tipping it all the time, and these always sit just right the way you want. The food sits right in there, the oil sits with your food in the right spot, unless your oven is like super cockeyed. And the quality of the build in your hand, and the way it feels when you're cooking with it, and the strength of the build, and the beauty of the build, it just, like the edge of the pan, the way you can be able to, with the saute pan and the wok, to be able to flip things in it is so spot on. It's almost like they got it down to a science there of just that right perfect curve that is the right one. And I feel like with that cheaper wok, it's kind of open and it's a big thing, and sure you could spoon stuff around in there and you can kind of wrestle it to flip nicely, but their pans with the Smithy Ironworks, it's just a little shimmy, and it's just like, whew, it flops and lays flat and it's flipped over and you're cooking. So there you go. That's my thoughts on it. Not as big of a difference as you might think, but man, if you like cooking and you really enjoy something, I would suggest it's a great Christmas present for yourself or somebody who does. Pick their favorite pan for them and blow their mind with how they'll love it, because maybe you love woks and that's your thing and you've always wanted a really nice wok. Pick up their wok. Keep in mind, this isn't a paid sponsorship. I will continue to use these though, because I do love them, and I will probably grab these. I will definitely be grabbing these over any other pan in the house, and I might even take a drive down to the lake if I left one down there just to go get that, to cook something in it if I have enough time for it, because I like them that much. So take it or leave it. Check out Smithy Ironworks, linked in the description below. If you've fallen in love with cast iron pans and doing deep dish pizzas, or do all your cooking like I used to, like obsessively in just a cast iron pan, you might want to upgrade. And if you're a huge wok person and you're doing stir fry once or twice a week and you love the wok for stuff like that, you will love their wok. And that saute pan, oh man, does it do a nice little egg right in there, and it feels so good, that solid handle and grip on that thing. These things are heirlooms too. I mean, you get one of these and this is gonna be something you pass on to your children's 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 children's. So there you have it, and have a nice day. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you haven't yet, think about subscribing, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Fowler out.
Ah. Oh, they're coming for you.
Got him.